You know, there is a big problem with lighting.
Yep.
And this problem is 17 to 35-year-old males. Now, this is a search I did on YouTube for video lighting. And as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 8 shots have a 17 to 35-year-old male in it. Now, I was a 17 to 35-year-old male, and so I know this intimately, the problem. And it's the problem is that it's for us at that age, it's all about the technology. It's all about the tools. It's all about the technique. And there is some wonderful information out there. And it's really exciting how this whole world of video and lighting and everything has been opened up to so many people, whereas 20 years ago it was in a tight little universe and you had to be anointed, like someone had to kneel and someone put a sword on either shoulder and say you are allowed to do video. And it's lovely that it's open. But 17 to 35-year-old males, remember I was one and I know this, the problem is they give you the what without the why. And the why with lighting is so important. And particularly, this is business video mastery. And one of the hallmarks of what I try to do is to get you quickly to making videos. I do not want to confuse you. So the why we're going to talk about is about how you can use a single light and why things like this key, fill, and backlight myth that is out there. And when I say this myth, anytime that I go and in all my research about what's happening with video, I come across so many knowledge-based sites and they go, right, one of the first things you're going to need to do with your video is learn about lighting. You're going to need a key light, a fill light, and a backlight. And it's this 3-light strategy. Just type that in and do a Google search. You'll see hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of diagrams come up. Now, most of these diagrams, strangely enough, are actually wrong. Well, I think they're wrong anyway. So there's this myth that you have to have 3 lights. You don't. And I'm going to explain why. So this next part is how to look good with 1 light. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. When I'm lighting someone, or actually when I'm watching a video, there's really 2 things that I'm really connecting with. And this is probably at a subconscious level for most people. Still with me, it's subconscious, but when I think about it, and I can break this down, I'm looking at people's eyes. I mean, and their smiles. I mean, these are 2, connectivity tools that we've got. And that is what I focus on when I am lighting people. If nothing else, I would make sure I get those 2 right. And then everything else is a bonus after that. So this is what we're after. We're after helping you to connect with other people. So when you look at this face here, what do you see? Because I bet you what you see is completely different to what I see. Now, I'm connecting with this guy. He's just got this lovely, lovely, warm face. It's gentle. He's got this wonderful smile. And I am just locked on to his eyes. I am just, oh boy, it's almost like a magnet. So I tell you what I see when I'm looking. You see, I look at him and the first thing, I am locked on his eyes, but I am looking deeper into his eyes. And there's a reason for that, because the deeper you look into someone's eyes, let me go back a tick there, is you're going to start to see that eyes are actually mirrors, and they mirror the world that is going on around. And when you go in closer, you can actually see the lights that have been used. You can see more than the lights, which you'll see, but you can see how this person has been lit. Now, I can tell even without looking in close like this, but this gives me specifics. And these specifics are that light, that glow in the top of the eyeball there, that's actually a hexagonal shape. That's a hexagonal soft light that's positioned high above his head. And then to the right, there's what's called a reflector board, but essentially a board reflecting as a light source, and it's giving shine on the side of his face. And even though I sort of knew they would be a soft source on top and a soft source to the side, I can actually see what they are now. So when you go back and I look at his face now, you can see that he's got these two shines on the side of his face. Well, that's those two boards, those two reflector boards bouncing this lovely, soft, big, broad white light back. And then that glow in the middle of his forehead, that comes from that soft light at the top. Now, you don't have to light this way. I'm just saying that when you start to understand what you're looking at with lighting, you can break it down. And the more knowledge you have with this, the more power and the more control you are going to have with your lighting. So eyes are these mirrors. If you look closely, if you can get detail in photos, you can see what the light source was. This was somebody facing pretty much a set of French doors. This person, you can almost see, it looks like they're on a balcony of almost like an apartment or a unit. There's something going on there. I'm not sure, but you can see all the clouds. You can literally see the clouds in the sky on the outside. And then down, it looks like a plastic yellow drink bottle or something that's on the desk. It's amazing. This, you can sort of see the person in silhouette who was sitting there taking the photo. And again, you can see that's almost it's like a holiday shot, like on a balcony out looking over to a bay in the distance with a bit of a mountain or something. And so now when you look at this photo, you can start to go, oh, okay, I know what lights have been used. And you can see that there were two sort of soft lights. One was one of these hexagonal type big soft lights, and the other, that round one with the black dot, that's actually called a scoop. You don't need to know that. But now you start to know notice these little lights in people's eyes. And these little lights are the key to connecting with people, because eyes are like windows to the soul. And this is Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan. And what would have happened when this shot was done here, you see this light that's on the side of his face, it's just natural light coming in from a bright field or grass or something in there. But the director would have been calling to the camera crew saying this. He would have been literally saying this: more eye light, more eye light, more eye light, as he was studying Tom Hanks's face. And see those little glints in the eye? That's a light that's pretty much just put over the top of the camera lens on a variable dimmer. And they just would have wound that up until they got those nice spots in the eyes. Because without those, you lose this connection. Eye lights in feature films are incredibly important. The thing is that we can learn from that. We can learn about looking for that when we are setting up. And we can do this with just one light. And we know when we get these little eye lights in there that we're creating this connectivity with our audience, with our customers, with our clients. This is subtle, but it's really powerful and really effective. So if you look here, you'll see this person on the left without the eye lights. It sort of looks like a little bit of a black hole. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the picture, but when you compare it with put that little speck in the eye, there's something like eyes are windows to the soul. There's something about this, and it's a powerful connection tool. So the first thing I want you to know about lighting is that a little glint in the eye creates this emotional connection. And it's very easy to get, and it's very easy to overlook and lose when you start using complex lighting, if you don't know what you're doing with it.